Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 19th of September, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and Ensembles. Maybe runs around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into early October, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. We will also combine Storm Watch with this 10 to 14 day because the heat wave is gradually going to be breaking down over the next couple of days, and there will be a risk of thunderstorms with that breakdown as well. So Storm Watch to start, and then we'll do the regular 10 to 14 day. It means this will be an extended video. It might run around 25 minutes, maybe even longer than that. We've got a lot to get through. I will try and get through it all as quickly as possible. Just to say about the first video release today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've also released a weekend forecast and the EC42 day. Please check out all of today's videos and content. Thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that. Right, let's do Storm Watch first of all, then. So we're going to start off with the fact charts from UK Met Office. These are the human interpretations of models by forecasters at the UK Met. You can see that the high pressure has brought the heat wave. The Omega high is slipping away into western parts of Russia. Pressure just generally lowering, and we have got a couple of cold fronts that are trying to bring cooler Atlantic air in from the northwest. Now, this is fact chart for midday today. By the time we get through to midday tomorrow, both cold fronts have made very little progress, just moving into Scott B's. That 12 we remain under the hot, very warm, hot air, but with further weakening of pressure, allowing these little convergence lines and troughs and whatnot to begin to get going. And they will just enhance the downpour and shower risk. On into the day tomorrow, that was 6 AM, that fact chart. This is for midday. Again, you see that the fronts are stuck in the north there. The fronts are trying to bring cooler air in from Arctic Atlantic, will eventually succeed in doing so. But for tomorrow, particularly for England and Wales, we remain under the influence of hot and humid air, and these little convergence lines will enhance the shower risk. They'll be pushing northwards as well, of course, of Sunday. So shower risk, I think, tomorrow will be particularly across northern England, possibly North Wales and the North Midlands as well. Still with these cold fronts across parts of Scotland. On into Monday, where the cold fronts now start making progress southwards. Ahead of them, again, these little twig-type features just showing that we have got an increasing risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms breaking out ahead of these cold fronts just here. Now, overnight, Monday into Tuesday, the front actually gets a bit stuck, this second front across England and Wales, and so that could bring probably not thunder but persistent heavy rain to parts of Wales and Midlands and northern England into Monday night and on into Tuesday. So that's not really something for Storm Watch, but it is of note that we might get some very wet weather through the central swathe of the country we open up next week as that cold front gets stuck and away develops along it. Further south, this convergence line here might bring some heavy showers and thunderstorms into more southern counties behind that cold front. Of course, the air mass is very different, much cooler and fresher, and eventually that pushes through. So by the time we get through to Wednesday, we're all under this little ridge of high pressure. That won't last for long, but under that high pressure, it will be feeling cooler and fresher with temperatures returning back close to average. So, for such there's a lot of instability about. What about the other side of this, though, which is Cape and lifted? This is the convective potential within the atmosphere. This is the latest GFS run, showing lots of Cape across much of England and Wales. This afternoon, you would look at that and think there could be loads of thunderstorms. There actually won't be. They'll be very scattered and hit and miss, despite all of that Cape. Reason being, because the trigger isn't, you know, all that good. On into tonight, we keep a little bit of Cape and lifted going as well. Things generally calm down. Tomorrow, Cape and lifted returns across many parts of the country again. So from a convective potential perspective, doesn't look too bad at all. We've even got some Cape going on across England and Wales on Monday as well. So convective-wise, it doesn't look too bad in terms of a potential for the atmosphere. It's just whether we can trigger those storms and downpours to develop. Okay, so let's go through the models. We're going to start off with high resolution Aurora model. Now, this is a French model, so we can only see Ireland, England and Wales with this, unfortunately, not Scotland. But this is what Aurora is showing for this afternoon. So by 3-4 o'clock, a few showers and thunderstorms starting to break out maybe through the north and the West Midlands, and may become a little bit more widespread actually through parts of Lincolnshire in particular into the evening. Could be some big downpours in there, maybe with some flash flooding. Otherwise, there's not much happening this afternoon despite the convective potential. But overnight tonight, more downpours coming into the southwest. That might bring some thunder into parts of southwest England and also southern parts of Wales through the second half of the night. That looks quite good the southwest of the country. On into Sunday, those showers and storms possibly pushing northwards through Wales, some more breaking out across southern parts of the country. They're quite hit and miss. Then it's really into the afternoon, I think, but the showers could get quite severe through parts of mid and north Wales, possibly Northern Ireland and into northern England. It doesn't show it, but that will extend up into southern parts of Scotland as well. Could be some torrential storms coming through then tomorrow afternoon. Notice in the southeast corner, which are the Midlands, central southern southeast England, not much happening. Very typical of thundery breakdowns that we've seen over the past several years. This is Arpège. This is another high resolution French model, so let's pick this one up. Again, a few showers scattered about across England and Wales this afternoon. Not many of them, but if you get one, you'll know about it. And then tonight, we've got those downpours coming into the southwest and into parts of Wales. Tomorrow, we find hit and miss showers for central southern parts of England and Wales, but most of the shower activity is like mid-North Wales and into northern England and Northern Ireland and some of Scotland. You can see from the brightness of the colours there could be some really torrential rain coming through in some of those downpours across Wales and northern England up to southern Scotland tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. They get out of the way, and overnight, so into Monday, and then into Monday, that's when we might trigger things off across parts of England and Wales. As far as we get to is to the early hours of Tuesday. They've got that more persistent rain beginning to start setting up maybe across parts of England and Wales. Got to firm up on that. Icon, again, looks like this. Another high res model from the Weather Outlook. So most of the showers in the west and southwest tomorrow morning, and then may become particularly widespread through parts of Wales, Midlands and northern England. A little bit more widespread, I think, with Icon compared to like Arpège and a Rome for tomorrow in terms of the Midlands, but certainly like northern England and the North Midlands in the final line for those downpours as well may get out of the way. On into Monday, so showers across England and Wales, turning brighter but also cooler for Scotland, and then that wet weather really sets in overnight Monday and Tuesday across many central parts of England and Wales. So this is like persistent rain, not thunder. This is like persistent outbreaks of rain along that cold front that gets stuck. Eventually, all that gets out of the way. More wet weather threatened coming across the Atlantic though by Thursday. And then we've got the high-res UKV model. This is from the UK Met. Again, this is at the Weather Outlook. Please check out too for all of these charts and all of this data. The Weather Outlook very closely aligned to GavsWeatherVids, of course. So tomorrow afternoon, this afternoon I should say, we've got those scattered hit and miss thunderstorms through parts of the North and East Midlands into eastern parts of England, possibly a few through southwest of Scotland and also Northern Ireland. But most places will say dry, hot and sunny, very hot this afternoon. Overnight, in comes those downpours into the southwest. That looks pretty good. Those of you down across the southwestern parts of England, some big showers and thunderstorms possible there. They trundle up to Wales through the early hours of Sunday. And then through Sunday morning, hit and miss showers and thunderstorms drifting northwards across England and Wales. The southeast staying mostly dry, and into the afternoon, that's when things really start kicking off through North Wales into northern England, Northern Ireland, and also southern Scotland with those downpours around as well. They get out of the way overnight Sunday into Monday, but more heavy downpours are likely on Monday morning across northern England, North Wales, and then through other parts of England and Wales into Monday afternoon with wet weather returning to the north and the west. And then, of course, we've got that more persistent rain through parts of Wales, the Midlands and northern England during the course of Tuesday. That's not thundery, that's persistent rain. But to the south of that, that's when the southeast might pick up a few thunderstorms, actually, I think, on Tuesday afternoon ahead of that stuck cold front. And then lastly, we've got DRF from Metrocella. And we look like this, so showers mushrooming up across Wales, the Midlands and some parts of northern England this afternoon, possibly affecting Northern Ireland as well. They fade out into the evening. Most places becoming dry for a time this evening, but then in come those downpours. Actually doesn't show those downpours across the southwest tonight. That's different to the other ones, as WRF often is. And then tomorrow, heavy showers and thunderstorms through central and northern Wales, and particularly into northern England and also southern Scotland, possibly affecting Northern Ireland as well. You see from the intensity of the colours, there could be some very severe thunderstorms actually across parts of northern and northeastern England tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. And then that takes us through into Monday, where the focus of the showers is possibly more through like Wales and Midlands, East Anglia, possibly in the south too. There's the cold front coming southwards and eastwards, and WRF does slow that up. We get to 8 AM on Tuesday with that cold front bringing outbreaks of rain through Wales and northern England, the last of the storms clearing from East Anglia. So yeah, once again, it doesn't look like a classic countrywide thundery breakdown. It's very typical of the thundery breakdown so we've had over the past several years, meaning that the south and southeast generally is missing out with a lot of this. The storm risk, particularly through today, hit and miss thunderstorms through Wales, the Midlands, eastern England, this afternoon into the evening, particularly Lincolnshire, I think actually into the evening. Overnight, I think southwest England, South Wales, despite WRF not showing it, will get some heavy showers and thunderstorms. And then tomorrow, the focus really shifts to mid and north Wales, northern England, Northern Ireland and southern Scotland. And there could be some really quite severe thunderstorms actually across parts of northern and northeastern England tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Okay, that's a storm watch done. So that's the first 10 minutes taken. It's going to be a long video this. I'm so sorry everybody, but I haven't got time to do a separate storm watch today because I've got the second winter update to do later on for tomorrow. So everything's piling up. You know, it's one of those weekends. Okay, let's have a look at the Tropical Atlantic then. So we've got our two storms. We've got Tropical Storm Margot. Just here giving maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure 1004 millibars. Margot is going to become a hurricane through next week, drifting northwards to reside to the southwest of the Azores. How strong is Margot going to get? Let's have a look. So Margot will be a Category 1 hurricane for the early part of next week. And then, of course, we've got Hurricane Lee giving maximum sustained winds of 115 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 963 millibars. Clicking on Lee, going here. We can see that at the moment Lee has weakened a little bit back to a hurricane, but will become a major hurricane again as we go through the course of this week. Looks like it's going to move northwards to the east of the Bahamas. So maybe the Bahamas will get away with this, but it might have Bermuda in its sights. So that's going to be one to watch. At the moment, the southeastern corner of America also looks like it's going to avoid Lee's wrath. So Florida, Georgia, South Carolina might just about avoid the worst of Lee. Let's have a look at the forecast. So yeah, it's going to power up again. Currently giving maximum sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. But within the next 48 hours, it's going to power back up to like 130, 140 miles per hour, which gets it back to Category 4 hurricane status there, I think. So a very, very powerful and impactful storm at Lee. It's already been in Category 5, and it's going to power up again over the next few days. We will keep updated about Hurricanes Margot when it develops into a hurricane and Hurricane Lee. Right, come back home. It's really hot out there this afternoon, as already established. Thunderstorms could be triggered by this heat and humidity. We already have temperatures up to 32 degrees in several locations across the country. So, where was that 32 flashing away? It might be Lakenheath, could be Cambridge, something like that. We've also got 32 at Northolt. We've got 32 at London Gatwick. We're up to 32 at Headcorn Aerodrome as well. Now it is only 2:30 nearly in the afternoon, so there's another hour or so of potential heating to come, and so temperatures could go higher than this, possibly up to 33, maybe at the outside 34 is possible. We're starting to see it's widely hot across the country. This remarkable September heat wave is peaking today. I don't think we'll get the temperature as hot as this tomorrow, but East Anglia, South East England will still be up to around 30 or 31 tomorrow. So obviously the central England temperature is continuing its inexorable rise. Look at this. We're now up to 20 degrees, 20.0, which is nearly 6.5 degrees above the 61 to 1990 average. It's absolutely unbelievable. That's for the first week of September up to the 8th. Utterly remarkable temperature that. The mean maximum, I'll show you that, is 26.2. for the first week of the month, which is nearly 9 degrees above average, 8.7. And let's see how the minimum is looking. So that is at 13.7, so not quite as high of a minimum. It really is the maximums that's caused this. That's 4.1 degrees above average. I mean, that is significantly above average, but it's nowhere near as high as like the maximum. So the night's actually been a little bit, a little bit cooler, although the last couple of nights have been very warm, actually. Anyway, completely remarkable in terms of central England temperature. That will rise again when it updates tomorrow. So, I want to go to mean, don't we? So that will rise again when we go through to tomorrow. So I would imagine by tomorrow that might be up to around 20.3 or 20.4, something like that. That will probably be about the peak of the month. Next week, this should start coming down. Initially, quite slowly, I would have thought, and then accelerating as the week goes on. So it'll be interesting where we are by this time next week. I would imagine like in the 17th or the 18th, but we shall see. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next couple of weeks, red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London, starting off hot at the moment, of course, very considerably hotter than average. We've got a little way to go with that, and then the temperature, upper air temperature and solar temperature will be coming down. So by the mid of next week, we are back close to average, and then hovering close to the long-term 30-year average as we go through the second week of, or the second half, I should say, of September. Lots of dry weather to come over the next day or two for London. Any showers and storms going to be generally further north and west of that, but through next week, we could be seeing an increasingly unsettled flavour to the weather, and that takes us into what could be quite unsettled second half to September. Temperature anomalies from the 9th to 17th of September are going to be hotter than average across most parts of the country, and precipitation anomalies, this is a change from the 9th to 17th of September, coming out in some places drier than average, particularly Scotland and Ireland, but also Northern Ireland and also southwestern England. Some places wetter than average, such as Northern England, and some places nearer normal. It definitely looks a little bit more unsettled that compared to what we've seen over the past few days. Latest Windflow Map from knowleschool.net shows where that cold front is, just to the north and west of Scotland. The high pressure course is drifting off in that direction, and we've got this low pressure down here, cut off low, which is helping to provide the heat and the humidity. But things will be turning increasingly unstable. Dragging the map around again, we can see, I showed you this yesterday, so you won't look at this again today, but you can see Margot, just here, tropical storm, soon to be Hurricane Margot just there, and of course that is Lee. Right, let's start going to chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Tuesday. So cold front coming south, getting stuck, but introducing cooler air into the north. By Wednesday, we're all into that cooler and fresher push of air. Ridge tries to get going, nothing much comes from that. Low pressure comes in from off the Atlantic through the second half of next week, with an increasingly cool and unsettled look to the weather as we head towards next weekend. I can't again pulling wind into the north through the middle part of next week will bring cooler and fresher air across the country, but will take a while to get that cool air down into the south. Second half next week brings the next area of low pressure in from off the Atlantic, so plenty of wind and rain coming in with that. Now the south and southeast is not all that far away from the warm, just here really is where the warmth will be through the second half of next week. So it depends how quickly that low gets in. But if you look at the upper air temperature, they are still reasonably warm actually across England and Wales. With plus 15 Celsius iceberg, it's only across northern parts of France there. So potential maybe for the far southeast countries to get a little bit more warm later next week and towards next weekend. But if it does happen, it will be much more unsettled than we've had recently. Won't be anywhere near as hot as recently either, and rain will not be far away. GFS midnight run, again pulling down those cooler northerly winds through the middle part of next week, and then low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic, bringing showers and or longer spells of rain with it. Low pressure moves up from the south next weekend, could bring a bit of a deluge across southern parts of the country, and then this area of low pressure starts heading in from off the Atlantic. So as we move up toward day 10, increasingly wet, windy and rather cool autumnal look to the weather, with quite a deep area of low pressure in the ascendancy. I think this is Hurricane Margot, or the remains of, by the way. That comes our way as we go beyond day 10 to around days 11 and 12. That brings further heavy rain, especially focus on England and Wales. Then we're into just generally westerly type winds as we head up towards the end of the GFS run. This is 25th of September today. Probably quite warm and reasonably dry down the south, but still unsettled further north there. And then the GFS 6 there, once more pulling in those cool northerly winds as we go through the middle part of the week. And then high pressure has a go at reaching in, but nothing much comes of it. Low pressure heads in from off the Atlantic. Real pincer movement going on into next weekend. Suggests showers and or longer spells of rain too. Again, we've got some sort of feature down here. That becomes quite a significant area of low pressure moving northwards as we head towards days 8 and 9. That will bring heavy rain to England and Wales in particular, and further wet windy areas sweeping in from off the Atlantic with those areas of low pressure as we head up towards the end of the GFS run. We have another hurricane by way of tropical storm, some sort of feature just here. That hasn't even formed yet, but by the time we get through the 23rd of September, that next storm is moving into the North Atlantic. Okay, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe, and show everybody the video out. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We need to put on around 80 subscribers to get to 16.9k. Please give us a sub, tell your friends and family to subscribe. Thank you so much. GM, again, bring that conference south across country on Tuesday. Well, that will get a little bit soaked. We'll bring quite a wet day parts of England and Wales on Tuesday. Eventually, we're under this ridge through Wednesday to Thursday. That will be a cooler area of high pressure, but then low pressure back in from the Atlantic again, you see. The second half next week, bringing further wet weather with it. And as we head up toward day 10, increasingly wet and windy, with this major area of low pressure sweeping in across the coast. Look at that. Day 10, we've got a proper dartboard sitting just to the west of Scotland. Dartboard low, bringing lots of heavy rain and strong winds as well. And then the ECM midnight run looks like this. Once more, the conference coming southwards as we go through Tuesday will bring outbreaks of rain with it as it gets stuck across England and Wales into Wednesday and Thursday. A ridge building through the country, that something's down for a while. Then more low pressure heads in from off the Atlantic at the end of the week. As we get through to next weekend, looking rather cool and showery then, with low pressure coming up from the southwest and pushing away towards the northeast. That could bring some very wet weather across the country Saturday to Sunday. And then a bit of a change with the ECM for days 9 and 10. High pressure reaching back up from the southwest. I have to say that was a little bit of an outlier synoptically. Most of the other model output is unsettled around days 9 and 10. Does not have that area of high pressure getting going. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TemP. So, of course, we've got the showers of downpours through this weekend becoming widespread across central and northern regions in particular through the course of tomorrow. More heavy showers and thunderstorms possible for parts of England and Wales on Monday. And then we have that cold getting stuck across England and Wales on Tuesday. That's bringing outbreaks of persistent heavy rain across many parts of the country, or many parts of England and Wales on Tuesday. Finally, go back to dry weather with a ridge on Wednesday before more wet weather piles in from off the Atlantic for the second half of next week and on into next weekend. Before it goes drier again for days 9 and 10 under that area of high pressure. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. from the Icelandic Metropolis. It gets us to the 19th of September. 11 members of the ECM ensembles looking very unsettled. The tropic below and strikes over to the north and eastern coast, looking cool and unsettled with that one. 9 here with low pressure just to our west, withdrawing up wind from the southwest. Should be reasonably mild, but also unsettled. Another 9 with low pressure on the northwest southeast alignment. That's going to be cool and unsettled. 8 with low pressure over to the west of the country. Again, that looks very unsettled. Another 8, including the control and the operation run, building up that ridge of high pressure there. And then we've got 6 with high pressure to our northeast and low pressure to the southwest. That brings the wettest weather into the south. So you see most of the options there at day 10 involve low pressure are unsettled. So that tells us that synoptically the ECM operational run at day 10 was an outlier compared to the rest of the ensemble. It doesn't mean it's wrong, it just means that it's not well supported. So this idea of high pressure coming back for day 9 and 10 is not well supported at all within the ECM ensembles at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 24th of September. 24 members of the ECM ensemble still unsettled with low pressure over to the north of the country. 14 with low pressure over and just to the west of the country. That's also going to be unsettled. And 13 with low pressure to the west of Ireland, high pressure to our east. I'd probably still quite unsettled even that one, but would be warm, bringing up wind from the south. Most of the options are involving low pressure at days 10 and also 14, 15. Tells us we've got pretty good confidence that second half of September will be turning more unsettled. CFS Week 2 lastly, and then we're done on this epic Saturday 10 to 14 day / mini storm watch. So just have a look at CFS Weeklies. These are 500 bit of our height and lines break down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 9th to 15th of September. This next week we'll have low pressure over and to the northern country. Looks unsettled with winds coming in from off the Atlantic. Week 2 is also dominated by low pressure. 16th, 22nd of September, the low pressure is right in over top of the country. Week 3 is going to be the 23rd to 29th of September. That one looks unsettled too. Low pressure north and east. There is a mid-Atlantic ridge going on. Central projection on northwest southeast lights. That is not only unsettled but also quite cool. And then lastly, week 4 gets us back to higher pressure again for October. This is the 30th of September. 6th of October, high pressure ridge is back up from the southwest. That will turn things drier. Not necessarily all that warm. With that, I have to say, so with that scenario, we're probably bringing the wind in from west or maybe even northwest, so not necessarily all that warm, but going back to drier weather as we get into the first week of October there. We'll see about that. Right, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. 27-minute epic. Wow. Getting on for half an hour for this Saturday video. I'm so sorry about I've had to combine Storm Watch with 10 to 14 day, but I'm going to be busy later this afternoon into the evening working on the second winter 2023-24 update. So I hope it's all right with all of you that I have combined Storm Watch with your 10 to 14 day. Anyway, that's it for today's videos and content. If you enjoy the video, please can you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe as well. 80 subscribers gets us to 16.9k. So please give us a sub. Thank you so much, everybody. Just tell us coming up tomorrow, we're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. We will have the second winter 2023-24 update. It's going to be epic. And if that wasn't enough, we will be, of course, live streaming at 6 PM, so we're going to discuss that winter update, and we'll begin at 10 to 14 day as well, seeing what's going on with the thunderstorms. Hopefully we'll have these storms here at the towers while I'm live streaming, and there'll be a lot of long range in that live stream as well, so we'll show you data from CFS V2 as ever, and also Patal Pang. So epic live stream tomorrow at 6. I shall see you live then. Enjoy the rest of this hot Saturday afternoon and evening, and have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. For this video and for today's videos, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.